Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om. Salutations to all. So we saw in this fourth canto, the fourth Purushartha is moksha. First Purushartha, Dharma, Sati's episode was seen. For Artha, we saw Dhruva's episode. Then for Kama, we saw Rithuraja's whole life, his avatar of Bhagavan. And then for Moksha Purushartha, we are right now seeing the story of the Prachetas, and in that Prachin Barhi Raja. So Prachin Barhi Raja told the Prachetas to go and, create more children, produce more children. They went and they met, so on the way they met Lord Shiva, who taught them a stuti of how to propitiate Lord Hari. And they went ahead to meditate on Bhagavan Hari. Narad Ji came at that time to Prachin Barhi Raja and he told him the story of Puranjana, which is supposed to be a symbolic story, to tell him about the limitations of rituals, karma, and that how self-knowledge alone can purify the mind and how one has ignored that supreme self. So at the end of it, Prachin Barhi Raja, he leaves his kingdom, he gives it over to the appropriate people and he renounces the world, exclusively focuses on the self and comes to realize the truth. Now what happened to the Prachetas? So in 30th chapter of this fourth canto, we find that Vidurji is asking this to Maitreya Rishi. Starts from there, that what reward did the sons of Prachin Barhi get by propitiating Shri Hari? Ye tvaya abhihata brahman sutta prachina barhishaha te rudra gitena harim siddhimapu pratoshyakam. They propitiated Hari with the same hymn that Bhagavan Shiva or Rudra taught them. And what benefit did they get out of that? Now they happened to meet Lord Shiva, who lives in Kailash. On the way they happened to meet. But he says that because they met Lord Shiva and he taught them about how to propitiate Lord Vishnu, Vidurji says that I definitely think that they must have got mukti as a result. He says, what else did they achieve? A very interesting question is that. Mukti is something gaining which nothing more remains to be gained. Of course, we are talking here about Jivan Mukti. But the question Vidurji is asking, and Vidurji is not asking he is a very well, not only well-read, but he is a very knowledgeable person as far as scriptures are concerned. So he knows that Mukti is a final. Moksha Purushartha is the fourth Purushartha, the supreme one. Now he is asking, having met Lord Shiva, having known about the stuti to be sung for Bhagavan Hari, definitely they would have got mukti. There is no doubt in that. What else did they get? Somebody may say he may be asking about what else they got before mukti also. Either ways, what they got after mukti also, we will see. It is very interesting what they ask. So, Vidurji asking that question now. What else did they achieve? Asadya devam girisham yadrichaya prapu param nunamatha prachetasaha. So his question is very clear. Here and hereafter. What did they get here and what did they get hereafter? So now Maitreya Rishi answers. He says that as per the command of their father, that is Prachin Barhi Raja, the Prachetas, they propitiated Bhagavan Hari by worshipping him through the same stuti that Rudra Bhagavan had taught them. And austerities carried on in water. So remember, they were in the lake. They went in the lake and they were doing so. In water, in a lake, which is as huge as the ocean. At the end of many, many years, Bhagavan Narayana appeared before them. And the very austerities, what they were doing, because of which their body has also become weak in that sense. And there are challenges. They would not have eaten food for a long time. The various things would have happened. The body would have become heated up, shriveled, all that. So he soothes all of that. And how did he come? So he came on Garuda. Bhagavan Vishnu came on Garuda, and his form is described here, that he looked like a cloud settled on a peak of Meru. Suparna skandham arudho Meru shringam ivam buddha pitavasa manigrivaha kurvan vitimiradishaha. So he comes on Garuda, he looks like a cloud settled on a peak of Meru, and he is dressed in yellow, pitambara. He has a Kaustuba gem on his neck, Kaustuba mani suspended from his neck. And by the splendor of that Kaustuba mani, all darkness vanishes. Now his entire face shines brightly with brilliant gold ornaments. He wore on his head a glorious crown and was having 8 weapons, meaning 8 hands. Ashtabhuja Rupa is what they saw. Generally, Mahavishnu will have 4, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Now here it is said bow, arrow, sword, shield also is there. So 8 hands. Bhagavan can give darshan in whichever form he wants. Now don't get stuck with saying he's supposed to have only 4 hands. How did he have 8 hands? Even in the Gita we find after the whole Vishwarupa is over, so this Arjun, he asks Bhagavan, he tells Bhagavan that this form is very mind-boggling, difficult for me to even handle this. You please come back to your normal form. There the word gives this Chaturabhuja. Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana. That like that he will say, okay, now I am seeing your human form, but there the word comes Chaturabhuja. So Krishna Bhagavan himself must be having 4 hands and he must be moving around that way with 4 hands. What we see in the serials, etc., that is a different point. And that's one reason why that Poundrak also, he wanted to tell people that I am the real Krishna, and he fixed 2 artificial hands to tell that is fake Krishna, this is real Krishna. So Bhagavan can have 4, 8, 2, whatever his Leela it is. So here he came and he gave them darshan with 8 hands sitting on the Garuda and having all weapons also, except one. whatever that is having the lotus, except that everything else is having the weapon. So then there are various sevaks and the sages and the demigods and Brahmaji and others. And Garuda was singing his glory like the Kinnaras. Now, he was also having this Vanamala. Then it is said that what did he speak? They sought his protection. Bhagavan spoke to Prachinbhari's children, Prachetas. So what did he say? He said, you seek whatever boon you want. Varam vrinidhvam bhadram vo yuyam me nripanandanaha sauhardena aprithag dharmaha tushtoham sauhridena vaha. So he says, you seek any boon you want. Varam vrinishva bhadram vo. May you attain auspiciousness. They have it translated in English as God bless you. God is only saying God bless you. Bhadramvo is the Sanskrit word actually. Bhadramvo meaning auspiciousness be unto you. In a way, Bhagavan is blessing them only, but I find that God bless you little funny there. God is only saying God bless you. We generally say may God bless you. So anyway, Bhadrambo, Yuyam me nripanandanaha. So he says that you have been observing a lot of these sacred vows because of your, peaceful nature. You have done a lot of sadhana. So I'm very, very pleased with your sadhana and which you have done together. Sauhridena vaha sauhardena. They are a group. No? There are all so many prachetas who are there. As a samuhik sadhana they have done. So Bhagavan says that I am very pleased with your mutual affection and how you have done this sadhana. And he gives them, before even they ask a boon, he only starts saying first. Then, of course, they will ask also. But he says that whoever will remember you every day at dusk will not only have the same affection, like how they were like having a lot of brotherly love. That way, whoever remembers them will have that same affection for his brothers as for his own self. But will cherish friendly feelings for all living beings. So two things. One is the bond between the siblings will be very deep and strong, as well as one will see the other living beings also as a friend. One will have a bhava of Maitri. Mitrasya bhava is called Maitri. So Maitri towards all the beings. And he says that I will confer the desired blessing as well as a brilliant intellect on them who will glorify me every morning with a concentrated mind using that same stuti that Rudra Bhagavan had given. Ye tu mam Rudra Gitena sayam prata samahitaha stunvanti aham kamavaran dasye prajnam cha shobhanam. That stuti, Rudra stuti, which is there. He says, whoever worships me with that morning, evening, samahitena, meaning sitting quietly with the body, mind, intellect integrated, aligned, with that bhav, if whoever does morning, evening, he says that I will give them whatever they desire. Then, Yadyuyam Pituradesham Agrahishta Mudanvitaha Athova Ushati Kirtihi Lokananu Bhavishyati. Now the importance here also it is indicated of how to, what is the importance of fulfilling the commands of the father or being obedient. And in this case, the father told them to produce more children, and they on their own went to propitiate Bhagavan Hari. But they followed the father's instruction. So he says that you have joyfully carried out the commands of your father. So your bright renown will accordingly pervade all the different worlds. Now, they wanted children, no? They didn't have to ask also. Bhagavan is Antaryami. Bhagavan, of course, knows what they want. And he will still ask them, tell me what do you want? But before they ask only, he is fulfilled. So what does he say? Bhavita Vishruta Putro Navamo Brahmano Gunaihi Ya Etam Atma Viryena Trilokim Purayishyati. Purayishyati. So he says that an illustrious son will be born to you who will be in no way inferior to Brahma, the creator, in point of virtues, and who will fill all the three worlds with his progeny. You will see Raksha will be born to them. So they got the purpose for which they were following the father's instruction, doing the tapasya, etc., that purpose fulfilled. Now they will say, but we are not married. Bhagavan gives the whole plan also to them. It's very interesting in Bhagavatam, this, it comes even in the third canto we saw, Kapil Muni. Kapil Muni is told, again Brahmaji says you procreate, increase, and take the creation forward. So what does he do? He also goes and does tapasya. And Bhagavan comes there and he also says that you will get a son, and he makes the arrangement also. He says that in some time Manu and Shadrupa will come and their daughter Devahuti, they will come and will bring and they will offer her to you in marriage. Don't refuse that proposal and accept it, and great things are to happen through that, and I will be born to you as a son. Full plan given. Here also he makes the arrangement. Very compassionate Bhagavan he is. If they need a son, he'll make all arrangements. Whoever needs whatever, that obviously Bhagavan only does all arrangements for everything, but that we forget. So here you see, he says, what is the way in which they will get the son? So he says, the sage Kandoho Pramlochaya Labdha Kanya Kamala Lochana Tam Chapavidham Jigruhu Bhuruha Nripanandanaha. So this sage Kandu got a girl with eyes charming as the lotus through Pramlocha. Now who is Pramlocha? She is an Apsara. And the spirits presiding over the trees. So these spirits, meaning Vana Devatas, Vriksha Devatas. So like that there are Devatas pervading the whole creation. So he says those spirits presiding over the trees, they brought up this girl because Apsara left and went. Apsaras can't stay on the earth for long. They go. Shakuntala was also like that. Menaka and Vishwamitra. To them, the Shakuntala was born. Menaka went away because she can't stay on earth more time. Vishwamitra Rishi also realized, what is this now? He understood that, oh, I should not have done this. He went giving, who brought up Shakuntala? Kanva Rishi brought up Shakuntala. Same thing happening here. Kandu Rishi got a girl with this Pramlocha, and they would have gone. This Apsara would have gone, the Rishi would have gone back. So sometimes this is what happened. It is unfair in that sense on the child. It appears like that. And it is also a seeker got distracted, got carried away, landed up in doing something for which one can't take responsibility. Karma will catch up on that. That one can't stop. That also shows how much more alert and careful one must be on the path of sadhana. And such great rishis, tapasvis, if their mind can get sometimes distracted and they also have a so-called temporary fall or a setback, then what to talk about our mind? So much more alertness we have to have. And so much more devotion to Bhagavan, because that is what will save. And that is what will protect us also. That is what will keep us focused also. The devotion to Bhagavan, to Guru, whatever one identifies with. So here, this girl is brought up by this Vriksha Devatas. Then, moving with compassion, who took care of the girl? You see how nature brought her up. Now, obviously, trees are in one place only. And the Vana Devatas, etc. are there who will take care, but not only by themselves. So, others also help. So, it is said this girl was very, oppressed with hunger and was crying and all that. And so, what did Chandrama do? Chandradev, 14th. Kshudkshamaya Mukhe Raja Soma Piyusha Varshinim Deshinim Rodamanaya Nidadhe Sadayan Vitaha. So this girl was hungry, she was crying, and so Chandra Devata, what does he do? He is the one who is supposed to be nourishing all the plant kingdom, vegetable kingdom with the minerals and all that. The seeds should be exposed to the moonlight before they are even sown. So that way, moon is the nourisher. Soma bhutva rasatmakaha, he says. The juice in the vegetables comes because of the moon. So here he says that he put his index finger dripping with nectar in the mouth of that girl. Then he tells them that you were commanded by your father. Now your father is fully surrendered to me and he is worshipping me and he has left the kingdom. He had told you to have children. So through this girl, you must have the children. Commanded by your father, who is now devoted to my path, to beget children, marry that girl without delay for the said purpose. Now let that girl with a slender waist be a wife, equally devoted to you all who are observing the same vows and are possessed of a similar disposition. And she too will observe the same vows as you all and is possessed of a similar disposition. Meaning their married life will be very happy. Bhagavan bless them, that their tuning will be good, their married life will be happy. Now, for 1,000,000 celestial years, with undiminished strength of body, you will enjoy my grace, earthly as well as heavenly pleasures. So 1,000,000 celestial years. Celestial year means Devata's years. 6 months of hours is the day of Devatas. 6 months of hours is their night. So like that, 1 year of hours is equal to 1 day of 24 hours for them. Like that, 360 days, like that, what you call 1,000,000 years. Celestial year, that is. For that much time, they will enjoy So he says, with undiminished strength of body, you will enjoy my grace, earthly as well as heavenly pleasures. Then what will happen? After 1,000,000 years, you see, here we talk about a few days ka habit. 21 days you do something, it will become your habit. This next week onwards, 18th July onwards to 16th August, every day meditation 5:30 to 6:30. Now, if you do that like for 30 days, this continuously, then when 16th August is over, 17th August morning, again you will get up and one will want, or I want to do. It's a good thing you may do by yourself. Now that tendency of the mind is, imagine 1,000,000 years, enjoy life. He says that long period of time you will enjoy. How much the mind will get conditioned. He says then, thereafter with the impurities of your heart, the 6 impurities, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. He says that will all get burnt by devotion unto me. And these pleasures which you have enjoyed for 1,000,000 years, he says that you will reconcile that these are disgusting and they are hell-like pleasures, and you will turn away from them. You will come to have more devotion to me, and you will come to my abode. That is called Salokya Mukti. So that's what he says. Athamai anapayinya bhaktya pakva guna shayaha upasyatha madhama nirvidya nirayadataha. Says you will attain to my divine abode. Now, very beautiful point he says this here. Griheshva vishatam chapi pumsam kushala karmanam madvarta yatayamanam nabandhaya grahamrataha. So he says that those who dedicate actions unto me and those whose hours are spent in talks relating to me, even though they are householders, this home life will not bind them. It's a nice thing. 2 points Bhagavan says that those who are dedicating actions to me and those who spend time in talking about Bhagavan, not some vain talk and gossip and all that. He says those who talk about the divine and those who are able to dedicate all karmas unto the Lord, even if they are householders, Bhagavan says there will not be any bondage of the house to them. Which means whoever is in a household stage, household does not mean only somebody who is married. That is one technical meaning. But anybody who has responsibilities, who has work to be done, ambitions, goals, whatever one has to achieve, even when an organization is a family, is a house in a different way, but it is a family. So these will not bind. Why? If that person is doing both these, dedicate actions to Bhagavan and remember Bhagavan, bas. And talk about the Lord, definitely, with the right bhav. So he says that life will not be a bondage. Why? Because through such sharing, Madvarta, Varta means his glories and his stories. So he says, through this, given by the expositors of the Vedas, he says, I enter the heart of such devotees. When we speak about the glory of Bhagavan, Bhagavan will enter through the ears, the heart of the devotee who is listening. Same way when we listen to others, Bhagavan is already there in our heart, but he enters specially in the sense the knowledge of Bhagavan will come into our hearts and we will recognize the Lord in our heart through that. So he says, enter the heart of such devotees as if in an ever new aspect. So, and he clarifies here, this manifestation of mind in the heart is the same as realization of Brahman, as is evident from the fact that those who attain to me never give way to infatuation, grief, or joy. Namuhyanti na shochanti na hrisyanti yato gataha. So they attain the supreme oneness, not only the abode of Bhagavan. He says that you will come to my abode and then eventually you will become one with me also. Just give me a minute. So he says that you will get this mukti, jivan mukti actually. Or even one may say krama mukti also. From there, from the divine abode also one may get. And he anyway assures them here only that because they are not going the sannyas way, they are going the pravritti marga. So they are going into getting into the household. One interesting thing about all the devotees is they don't have a problem in taking up household life. As long as assurance is there that Bhagavan's Maya should not touch them and Bhagavan's remembrance should always be there, and ultimately they should realize oneness with the Lord. Then there is no problem. But otherwise, the Maya will bind and then we get distracted and then we get bound and all that. So here Bhagavan gave them both bhukti and mukti. If you see the story, he said for million celestial years, you will enjoy the pleasures and then you will realize they are hell-like pleasures. There is no pleasure in them. You think about it for such a long time after enjoying, then Bhagavan says it will dawn on you that they are hell-like pleasures. That itself shows how much powerful the Maya of Bhagavan is. If they are hell-like pleasures, then why one wants to enjoy them for 1 million celestial years? But the senses, the Maya, the tempting objects, they are like that. So Bhagavan says you will enjoy for 1 celestial year, 1 million celestial years, and then you will realize, meaning Vairagya will come, then Bhakti will come, and then you will remember me, and then you will come to my abode, and then eventually you will, ensure that he says you will get oneness, and you will not again come back into this realm where there is infatuation, grief, or joy. So Bhagavan did what he had to do. Prachetas, they have not yet asked. Bhagavan said, ask what you want, and then Bhagavan gave everything. What more is left for Prachetas to ask? Very interesting what they ask, you will see. So even as Bhagavan Vishnu spoke thus to the Prachetas, who had been rid of all impurities in the shape of Rajas and Tamas, by his very sight, these Prachetas addressed him with joined palms in a voice choked with emotion. Giragrinan Gad Gadaya Sihrit Tamam. So what did they say? So they say, Namo Namah Klesha Vinashanaya Nirupitodara Gunahvayaya Manovacho Vega Purojavaya Sarvakshamar Gairagatadhvane Namaha Shuddhaya Shantaya Namaswanishtaya Manasya Partham Vilasadvayaya Namo Jagatsthana Layodayeshu Grihita Maya Guna Vigrahaya. So they pray, they glorify Bhagavan, saying that hail, hail to you, who relieve your devotees of all afflictions, whose excellent virtues and names have been declared by the Vedas as the source of all blessings, and who surpass in quickness both mind and speech. The names of Bhagavan. Again, hail to you, the way of whose approach lies beyond the range of all the senses. It is difficult to, not difficult, it is impossible to comprehend the Lord through the senses. Then he says, hail to you who are unconditioned and serene by the virtue of your being, established in your essential nature, and in whom this whole duality appears falsely due to the mind, meaning creation, the projection of the mind. Hail to you who, for the purposes of creation, preservation, and dissolution of the universe, assume various forms of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh through the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas of Maya. Now, he says that you are, specifically he says you are Hari, consisting of Sattva unmixed with Rajas and Tamas, and whose realization put an end to the cycle of transmigration. Now, Bhagavan Hari specifically is Sattva Pradhan. Actually, it is Vishuddha Sattva because Tamas and Rajas taint is not there. So, what is interesting is Bhagavan Hari here is Sattva Pradhan. Rudra or Shiva is Tamo Pradhan because of being in charge of destruction there. Still, Bhagavan Shiva, see, Tamoguna is black color, Sattva-guna is white color. But Bhagavan Shiva is white in color, though he is in charge of the destruction and, using the power of Tamas, he does it. Bhagavan Vishnu is supposed to be Sattva-guna, which is white color, but yes, dark color. Now, what is the point here? Why are their colors not matching their gunas? The colors are not matching their gunas because it's very simple. Bhagavan Shiva continuously thinks about Lord Vishnu continuously thinks about Bhagavan Shiva. Very simple. So Vishnu Bhagavan is dark color, Shiva Bhagavan is Karpura Gauram. Both are beautiful in that sense. There is no question of one is superior to other. But it's just interesting to note that Vishnu Bhagavan is Shyam Rang, Shivji is Karpura Gauram. Though he is in charge of Tamas and he is in charge of Sattva. So what we think, so we become. In that context it is said here. So he says that our salutations to you. You are Hari, you are Sattva without any mixture of Rajas and Tamas. And realization of oneness, what was said earlier, that you will not come back to grief and infatuation and sorrow. He says that state one will attain and by remembrance of the Lord, and that will put an end to transmigration. Now, glory to Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. He is the Lord of all the devotees. Now he says that obeisance to you who have a lotus sprung from your navel. Now this one expression is full of lotuses now. Verse 25th one. Namak Kamala Nabhaya, Namak Kamala Maline, Namak Kamala Padaya, Namaste Kamalekshana, Namak Kamala Kinjalka, Pishanga, Malavasase, Sarvabhuta Nivasaya, Namo Yungshmahi Sakshine. Full of Kamal. So he says, salutations to you who are adorned with a wreath of lotuses, whose feet resemble a pair of lotus, who has eyes like lotus. You are clad in stainless robes, yellow as the filaments of a lotus. He says, once more we offer our obeisance to you, the abode of all creatures as well as their seer. Now he says, we are affected by the three gunas. We are bound by them. And you are one who is beyond the three gunas. But yet you have chosen to come in this form and you have given darshan to us. You have revealed your form, which puts an end to all the miseries. What other favor could be bestowed on us? So they say that what else do we want? You already gave us the best, and you out of compassion you have come, given the form, plus assured us of all that he said earlier, to enjoy for 1 million celestial years and then come to my abode and be one with me and all that. He said, you already given everything. So what more can we ask? He also told about children and who is a girl and whom to marry. Everything finished. So what other favor could be bestowed on us? So now you see what they ask. They don't ask anything material. What they say, only this much should be done by masters who are fond of the poor, that they remember the latter at the opportune moment as their own. So first thing he asks is that, etavatvam hi vibhubihi bhavyam dineshu vatsalaihi yadanusmaryate kale sabuddhya bhadra randhana. So you should remember us as your own. Bhagavan should remember them as their own. Then, O destroyer of all that is inauspicious, for such remembrance brings solace to those who are thus remembered. One feels so happy that Bhagavan remembered me, Bhagavan cares for me. Devotee is asking Bhagavan to remember the devotee. Devotee generally asks Bhagavan that I should remember you continuously, which Bhagavan anyway said you will come to me and all that earlier. Now he says, you please don't forget us. We just want that you remember, especially at the time of need, you please remember. So they should remember the latter at the opportune moment as their own. Then all that is inauspicious will get destroyed. How? Because when one remembers this, that Bhagavan loves me as I am and Bhagavan remembers me, then which negative thought will come in our mind? World does not love me, who cares? Bhagavan loves me. And the world is Bhagavan's Maya only. So one does not bother much. Bhagavan is the source. If Bhagavan loves me, it's enough. Not that we isolate ourselves and fight with everybody and live a lonely life and then say, I don't care about the world and then Bhagavan loves me. That's not the intention. That was said earlier only, na? Maitri. The bhava of Maitri towards all. So here it is that one finds that great joy that Bhagavan remembers me and finds so much solace. One is not behind anything else which is material, tangible. So he says this, that so it will bring solace. Seated within the heart of even the most insignificant creatures as their inner controller, how could you fail to know that which is sought by us? Hankering after some object? So we don't want any object. How did you fail to see that? Why is he saying that? Because Bhagavan said, ask what you want. Then, to us that have won the pleasure of the Lord, who is not only the teacher showing us the final beatitude, but our goal too, that your pleasure alone is the desired boon, O Lord of the universe. It is very important. Prasanno Bhagavan yesham apavarga gurur gatihi. Prasanno Bhagavan. We want to only please you. We don't want anything else. Bhagavan is showing them the path to mukti, no doubt. But what does he want? What does the devotee want? That we should continuously do things only to please Bhagavan. So he is asking all this, to bless with all this. Sorry, I have to go again. Somebody keeps coming now. So two things he asked, that Bhagavan should remember them and that they should do actions which are to please the Lord. Then he says, yet, O Lord, we do seek one boon from you who are beyond Prakriti. And indeed, there is no limit to your glories. So that is why you are extolled under the name of Ananta. So he says, so what is the boon? So he gives an analogy here. When the celestial tree of Parijata is easily got, a bee does not resort to another. Even so, having directly reached the soles of your feet, what other thing should we seek from you? So he says, we don't want any material thing. The Parijata tree, when it is got, then why will one go to anything else? So, as long as we revolve in this whirlgig of birth and death under the impulse of our actions, dominated as we are by your Maya, let us have in every life the fellowship of your loving devotees. That is the boon. That is greater than mukti. Vidurji asked, na, what? They would have definitely got mukti, but what else they got here and hereafter? This is the boon that they ask. Before even they asked for children, Bhagavan knows the purpose, he blessed them, he finished the whole plan. Then what are they asking? Because Bhagavan said ask. They say we don't want anything material. But they know that 1 million years they have to be in this cycle. He said this one, because your Maya is powerful and we are going to go through the cycle of birth and death now for 1 million celestial years and whatever the life that they have to go through. He says that we must have the company of your devotees. That is a very powerful thing he asked. See, 33, he says, Yavatte Mayaya Sprishta Brahmam Iha Karmabhihi, Brahmama Iha Karmabhihi, Tavad Bhagavat Prasanganam Sangasyan no Bhave Bhave. Again and again, we must have in every life company of the devotees. This company of devotees is very important. Especially for, see, company of the right people is important in every field. Somebody wants to excel in cricket, they must have company of good cricketers and must have that who have proper cricketing acumen and who are practicing and who have experience and whatever, Same way for whether it is stock market or for anything else. But all those are tangible things. More easy to cultivate and, to acquire from someone else also. But devotion is very intangible. Bhagavan is not visible at all. Unless we have Sangha of Bhaktas, it is very difficult to develop devotion. Why? Because it is a training of the Bhav. And Bhav comes when we see others, when we see the devotion of the others, when we see with what Shraddha, with what Bhakti, with what Bhavna they remember the Lord, they live their life, they dedicate actions to Bhagavan, they continuously do sadhanas to unite with the Lord. When we have company of devotees, and the devotees will ensure that they speak about Bhagavan, tat chintanam, tat kathanam, anyonya tat prabodhanam. They think of Bhagavan, they speak about the Lord, they share, they don't do gossip and they don't waste time. So the life of a devotee is very sacred life, and to have company of such devotees. He says, you please bless us with that every life, bhave bhave, meaning every life the fellowship of your loving devotees. Because that's the only boat to cross across the ocean of samsara and this Maya. Even Jnana we need people who are sadhaks or not seekers. It is not that that one who is walking the path of Jnana can do it all by oneself and doesn't need any such, seekers, the company of seekers. Nothing like that. In Shankaracharya, he said even here in Bhajagovindam, Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan mukti. Whichever path we take, you want to practice yoga, you need proper people to help you with yoga also. A teacher is also there, and if the right devotees, the students are there, the practice of yoga also will become very inspiring, beneficial. One learns from each other. So that's why satsang very important. So he says, your loving devotees. Now he extols that company. He says, we are not prepared to equate with the fellowship of your loving devotees enjoyed even for half a moment. The company of the great devotees, even for half a moment, he says, we can't equate to the delights of paradise or even the moksha, much less the blessings sought by mortal men. See that, that's the beautiful line here. Tulayama lavenapi na swargam na apunarbhavam. Not even for 1 second. What? Swarga or moksha? Then what to talk about human things? Bhagavat sangi sangasya. Martyanam kimutashisha. What ordinary things in the world will we ask? Some money, some power, some car, some house, some jewelry, some necklace. We don't want any of that. When the company of the devotee, we cannot equate even to heavenly pleasure or mukti. What to talk about anything ordinary? Why? Because everything else will perish. Kshine punya martya lokam vishanti, you go to heaven. No, but mukti is supposed to be greatest. The the company of the devotees is so that we get mukti. Then why is that also not comparable? That is not comparable only because in that there is oneness with Bhagavan. Here the devotee remembers Bhagavan, Bhagavan manifests in front of devotee. This sambandha of Bhagavan and Bhakta is fantastic. And to have company of such a Bhakta, he says, you can't compare that to Mukti also. In Mukti, Maya is ended. In this, Maya is still there, but it doesn't affect the Bhakta at all. Because the Bhakta is remembering Bhagavan all the time, anchored in that. So he says, this is greater than Mukti also. That's why Vidurji asked that question. You see, company of people like Gurudev, is it easy to get? How we will get that? Their compassion and karuna that they came into our lives, otherwise where is it possible? And Bhagavan's grace, of course. So, even few minutes. Tulsidas this is ek ghadi, aadhi mein puniyad. Tulsi sangat sant ki hare koti aparadh. Ek ghadi, 1 ghadi. Aadhi, half of that. Aadhi mein puniyad, a quarter of that. If that much time also one gets the company of a saint, hare koti aparadh, crores of karmas will get burnt. Meaning more bhakti will arise. If we can't get the company of Ananya Bhaktas like that, Hanumanji is there, Vibhishanji is there, they are Chiranjeevis. Vedavyasji, they all are Chiranjeevis. Shankaracharya got the company of Vedavyasji for some time. Now 16 years his life got extended. Hanumanji's company Vibhishan got for a short while. He got the courage to fight against Ravan and tell him what you are doing is wrong. And he came to Bhagavan Ram. Few seconds. Transformed. So he says, we want only that. You ensure that in all the life after life, we will get the company of such devotees. And because for us that is so important, we can't equate it to Swarga or to Mukti or even to this. Then what to talk about is worldly pleasures. We don't want any of that. See what they are asking Bhagavan also. Will it even strike us to ask that? We may still think of some material thing or some qualities or some values. Please bless me with this discipline or that mind control or freedom from this kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, removal of ignorance, all that. And by nothing wrong in asking any of that. But the value of the company of a saint That we don't know many times. I remember once, I was very small that time in Balvihar or something. My grandfather used to organize a lot of talks and yajnas, and he would help to, whenever Gurudev came also, from a long time, from the time Chinma Mission founded, he had been with Gurudev and helping to serve and organize programs. So even in many years later, he was doing that. And one part of the yajna organizing would be that Bhiksha is arranged for Gurudev. Because the tradition is that the sannyasi gives jnana bhiksha and the grahasthi gives anna bhiksha. And Gurudev would go to the house, spend some time with that person, that family there. They have some satsang, food one serves, Gurudev will have food. They will offer Guru Dakshina and they will come back. One place, this gentleman. So one more important point was that the bhiksha, see, apart from members who would love to host Gurudev and have his blessings, etc., the purpose of bhiksha also is to reach to new people, especially those who are, inspired from the yajna. Yajna is meant to reach new people, and when the people come and attend, and then there is an opportunity for them that Gurudev can go to their house or whoever the Swami Brahmachari is. So in that context, so some new person, if you approach, then one more family is, associated with Gurudev and the mission, and then they also grow. It is good for the organization also. So my grandfather went to somebody's house, told them, invited them, and to come for the satsang, etc. And then he told about bhiksha also. So he told what is the purpose, all this he explained, and then he explained the process, what happens when he comes and Purna Kumbha, and then satsang can happen, and then food can be served, everything, and Guru Dakshina. Now that person is saying, he is coming to my house, I am serving food to him, I am giving food to everybody else also, why should I pay him money? See the mindset. Naturally, somebody who doesn't know certain things, they may ask, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they think it is equal to some other commercial star coming to the house and charging money for them. It is not like that. For whatever Guru Dakshina is offered or whatever donation is offered, that is going to the organization to serve the cause of the society only. But what that Mahatma will bless, that family, and the presence of that person in that house, the samskar on that family, the interaction, the karmic connections, so many things which are there, nothing will match whatever contribution you give. Because that presence of that person is a culmination of so much of tapasya and sadhana. Even half a second, like what Tulsidas ji says, ek ghadi, adhi mein punyad, tulsi seva, sangat sant ki hare koti aparadh. And how much time Gurudev spent in the house of the person. The opportunity to serve a realized master has the impact on generations together. Feeding a realized person is equal to annadan done to the entire creation. We think about it now. What in front of that, what donation can be given and what will that match? I am only saying this because we don't recognize. It's not about money. It's about we don't recognize the importance of the presence of the person. I know in my own family, somebody used to say at one point in time that we have to be very rich to host Swami Chinmayananda. Because see, at the last few years of Gurudev's life, there used to be a certain fixed amount also, saying this much amount you should give. The committee only will decide that. This much amount you should give, because the projects are so many. And time of Gurudev is less, and he has to do so many things. And at one point, some brahmacharis and swamis, so many of them had left and gone. He had to rebuild the whole mission by himself, again start. So it is not an easy thing to do. And when limited time is there, 5-7 days yajna, last few days, so it will be only 3 days yajnas. It is not even 5 days, 7 days yajnas. There will be limited people only who can, and his time is also limited. So, and not that Gurudev would never go to the house of anybody else. He does not get bound by this all. But the organization is there, it has some rules and one follows all that. So, people would ask like this. Sometimes, Gurudev would say, you want my autograph? Pay 100 rupees. Something he will say like that. That is all a way to raise money so that people will be benefited more. No? What is important is the company of that person. The time spent with that person. And not that Gurudev would not spend time with people who don't offer money and all that. All that is not understood properly by people. How much informal satsang he used to do, and people used to be in camps with him, and they used to sit in his kutia, they used to sit out in the rose garden. I mean, all that one doesn't see. So the point here is that what is the value? Now these Prachetas, having worshipped the Lord, having got the blessing from the Lord, they are asking this, that life after life you ensure that the company of the devotees is there, and we will not compare this to anything in this world. Now, why it is like that? He says, because in the company of such devotees are sung the delightful stories of Sri Hari, which slake the thirst for enjoyment, and we find no enmity with nor fear of any kind of for any being. Because that's what we'll do. It will remove this craving for enjoyment. Bhoga vritti it will remove. Bhakti will remove that bhoga vritti. So he says that. Mrishtas trishnayaha prashamo yataha. Nirvairam yatra bhuteshu nodvego yatra kaschana. There is no enmity towards anybody. No impulsiveness, no anger. Why? Bhakti fills the heart. Then, yatra narayana sakshat Bhagavan Yasinam gatihi samstuyate satkathasu mukta sangai punah punaha. Then he says, in their midst is glorified Bhagavan Narayana himself, because they are engaged only in that much. The goal of all the sannyasis also is that Supreme Lord. That Lord is extolled by all the devotees who are this, grahasthis also, who remember Bhagavan through beautiful stories again and again by such people who are free from attachment. So that detachment will come, the devotion will come, the dispassion will come. All this is the result of company of such people. By reading books, one cannot be detached by itself. One has to be in the company of such people. That's why even in Jnana Marg it is said, you stay with the Guru, see the Guru, serve the Guru, then you understand, and those qualities come inside. Hence, he says, we pray for that. How can meeting of such devotee of yours who go about from place to place with the intention of purifying the sacred places with the touch of their feet not be welcome to him who is afraid of transmigration? This is a question they are asking, that somebody who is stuck in the cycle of birth and death, why will that person not welcome such a company? But if somebody is not welcoming, that is only because there is some great power of Maya of Bhagavan that is trapping them. So he says, please bless us that. And as for ourselves, O Lord, we have through a moment's association only with your beloved friend Lord Shiva found today our refuge directly in you. You are the cure for this ocean of Bhavaroga, for this disease of Bhavaroga, and you are this Bhavaroga is difficult to cure, but you are the definite cure. Whatever we have properly studied, the efforts we have made to propitiate our teachers, the Brahmanas, the elders, by constantly serving them, the salutations we have offered to all worthy men, as well as to all our kingsmen and brothers, nay to all living beings in an uncavailing spirit. The austerities duly practiced by us in water for a long time without food, all this is meant for what? Only to please you. It is not for our ego, nothing. It is only to please you. Swayambhu Manu, Brahma, Lord Shiva, and others whose intellect has been purified through asceticism and self-realization, they extol you, though unable to perceive the end of your glory. Hence, we glorify you according to our own poor lights. Our little thinking, we also glorify you. Hail to you, the Supreme Purusha, the same to all, the untainted by Maya. Obeisance to Lord Vasudeva, who is absolute Sattva personified. Namas Samaya, Shuddhaya, Purushaya Paraya cha, Vasudevaya Sattvaya, Tubhyam Bhagavate Namaha. Now the Prachetas have done. So Maitreya Rishi finally says that Prachetas glorified Bhagavan. Bhagavan was pleased with them. And he said, Tathastu, bless them with what they wanted, that they should get company of devotees in life after life. And Bhagavan went to his abode. Now, what did Prachetas do? They came out of the water, and when they saw this whole earth is covered with trees, Prachin Barhi Raja also is there, the son, the king, father has done that. The whole earth is covered by grass and the trees and all that. So they said, now what is all this? They had grown so tall as if to block the way to heaven. So then, like Kalagni Rudra, they breathed out fire and wind through their mouths in rage in order to strip the earth of all vegetation. Now, seeing the trees being reduced to ashes, Brahma arrived there and pacified the sons of this Prachin Barhi by the words of wisdom. Whatever trees had survived, bestowed up their daughter upon the Prachetas. So remember that daughter of this Pramlocha and the Kandu, sage Kandu, who was brought out by the trees, that daughter was given under the advice of Brahmaji. Now, Prachetas also heard what Brahmaji had to give them advice, and they also stopped. Then they married. This daughter is called Maharisha, the daughter of the trees, through whom Daksha, a mind-born son of Brahma, was reborn as a result of his having slighted the great Lord Shiva. Now, he was the same Daksha who begot, as directed by God, progeny of his choice at the dawn of Manvantara, presided over by Chakshu, the sixth Manu, Chakshushi Manvantara. In that, even while being born, he overshadowed with his own splendor the brilliance of all resplendent beings, and they called him Daksha, means dexterous, because of his proficiency in rituals. Having installed him as a Prajapati, Brahma appointed him to the task of extending and preserving the creation, while he charged all the other lords of creation with their respective duties. So this is how Prachetas got married to Marisha, who then through them they got this Daksha, the son, and then the Daksha further. You see that story has come earlier. Daksha Prajapati. He had these 13 daughters, and 30 was one of them, and the other 12 daughters were married. All that we saw earlier. So now that concludes the portion about this Prachetas and Bhagavan Vishnu, and then one more chapter is there. By this, with that, this fourth canto will get over. Any questions for today?
मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति धूम की, मंगल कांति हसनी दसलन की, मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की, मंगल मंगल बनी त्रिभंगी हरि की, मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की, मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की, मंगल छवि नयन में अटकी, मंगल आरती। पभी अंग अंग की, मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की, मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की, मंगल चितमणि नागर नट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की, मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की, मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी, मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की, मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की, मंगल जुगल प्रिया बावन की, मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की, मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति डोल की, मंगल आरती, मंगल आरती। राधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः, तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
Why is company of devotees preferred to moksha? Because company of devotees, in that we listen to the katha of Bhagavan, as it was said, they have detachment, they have dispassion, all that. And the devotee loves to think about Bhagavan. In mukti sthiti, there is oneness with Bhagavan, there is non-duality. So there is bhakta, bhakti, Bhagavan, all that transcends. One transcends. That is the ultimate state of oneness, absolute oneness. The devotee still wants to see that infinite Lord in a particular form, doing the Leela, wants to chant the name of Bhagavan. There is a love for that. And so those who are wanting to be like that, they want company of devotees even more than mukti. Because that way their bhakti will come into them and then they can also enjoy Bhagavan's nama, rupa, guna, Leela, kriya, sambandh, all that. That's why. Not that they will not get mukti, they will also get mukti, but they want this, they enjoy that more, that's why.
Hariom Swamiji, in 20th sloka, it says that those who attain to me never given way to infatuation and grief or joy. So that means they become equanimous, no?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Om
Pranam.
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.